Shalom, shalom, Banit Funika. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, Rabbi. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. One second. One second. We are live now. That Hashem, let me just share it on Facebook, and after we will be ready. That Hashem, so shalom to all of you. Hope a wonderful day. In many areas in Israel, it's late. In the US, it's afternoon. And some of you are maybe facing their third hour of limud. So thank you for being so invested. And may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give to you the power to do more every single day. Without Hashem. So just let me share it on social media. So, Bezrat Hashem, we, like every single week, we focus on the topic of the parashot. But the parashot not only in order to know what's going on in the story of our Torah, but the parashot in order to give some light, so to put some light on specific halachot that can be understood from the parasha where we are. This week we are on the parashat EMOR, and the rabbi, the tzaddik, who is expert in that exercise to know how to connect mitzvot, halachot with the parashat of the week, is our master, the Ben Ish Chai. Shalom, shalom, Rabbi Yochanan. Our master, the Ben Ish Chai. And the Ben Ish Chai will help us today to, to make history. To make history, why? Because you know, when you want to remove importance from something, just remove spirituality from that thing. I explain myself. Generally, people can understand that there is something special behind what we call melanin. People can explain, can say that, yes, if the first man was black, and if science understand that every single human being, every single creature on earth possesses melanin, but the difference between maybe that creation is the quality of melanin, telling us that melanin is something very important in the way you connect with the sun, in the way you interact with the heat, in the way even your body react with many things around you. Shalom, shalom, Rabbi Shimon Amenka, shalom, shalom, Rabbi Rabbi Kish, shalom, shalom.
Hello,
The way
Rabbeinu.
you, shalom, shalom. The way you interact
Shalom,
with
Rabbeinu.
love, with all, with your environment, with what surrounds you. Shalom, shalom, Chief Rabbi Ishai Moshe, shalom, shalom. So the purpose was or is always to say that melanin is special, melanin is amazing, And we found more and more and more and more situations showing and talking about the uniqueness of that substance called melanin. But we fall in the trap. When I say we, I talk about we, the people who possess a lot of melanin. We fall in the trap because we have let, Natalia, we have let that topic becoming a racial topic. That was the biggest mistake. Because when you bring something to be only identified in the level of physicality, it's finished. Basically, you are killing your future. When you want to give future, you want to give consistency, strength to a topic, not only explain it in the level of physicality, but above everything, you have to connect it to spirituality, to mystical, to invisible, and not to do it in the way of feeling and sensation. Ah, I feel that. Ah, I feel that because I have melanin, I have that. No, feeling has never been a proof of science. Our ancestors were scientists. The knowledge they had in order to structure the tradition that we inherited was full of knowledge from science. And we, instead of getting that point, we fall in the trap. The element that can maybe be the proof of what we are, where we are from, and of where we have to go. Shalom, shalom, Rabbi Moshe. Instead of
Shalom, 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 shalom to you, Rabbi.
shalom, shalom. Instead of making of it something like a trophy, we brought it at the level of racial battle, brought it at the level of flexing. We didn't understand that that was the trap of the one who knew who we are really and what is our purpose. Let's say who we are, never forget that everybody possesses melanin. The only difference is the intensity, the quantity of that. So the purpose of his limud is really to make history. We will give the spiritual definition, the spiritual roots, the spiritual reason, the authentic reason of that color, of that substance. What is its identity? What is the meaning of that identity? And what we have to do with that. So Bezat Hashem, let's see. We will go in the Ben Ishai introduction Parashat EMOR. And in that introduction, the Ben Ishai wants to talk about the law regarding salt and the way also, no, not regarding salt, the law regarding how to break the bread at the moment of your meal, especially the morning after the prayer. What the connection between that topic and the melanin, let's build it. Let's bring the debate very high, very up. Let's give back to the melanin its owner and to define the spiritual code, the spiritual meaning of that melanin. So with introduction, let me just share my screen so I can. You see my screen? It's okay, yes?
Yes, Chivaba.
Okay. Sorry, I got it, but just want to open another window. So here is Pirkei Avot. This is the text that the Ben Ish Chai will use. But let's first of all start with the Ben Ish Chai. So he said like this. He said, Halachot b'tziat hapat, the laws regarding the breaking of the bread. Pticha, introduction. Rabbi Omer, אל תסתכל בקנקן אלא במה שיש בו. יש קנקן חדש מלא ישן, ויש אפילו חדש שאין בו. So let's see what this means. Here, here, 426. It's not here. Sometimes the chapter are not there. It says 426. Chapter 4. So let's make it simple. Not 26, 20. It said, it's the last part of this Mishnah. So let's read it, all the Mishnah. Elisha ben Abuya said, he who learns with a child, to what is he compared? To ink written upon a new writing sheet. And he who learns with an old man, to what is he compared? To ink written on rubbed written sheet. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda of Kfar Ababli said, he who learned from the young, to what is he compared? To one who eats unripped grape and drink wine from it that. And he who learns from the old, to what is he compared? To one who eats ripe grape and drink old wine. And come the part that the Ben Ish Chai will comment. Rabbi said, don't look at the container, can, but at that which is in it. There is a new container full of old wine, and an old container in which there is not even new wine. So let's see what the Ben Ish Chai said. It said, עיקר מעלות האדם וחשיבותו הוא מצד הנרן, נפש הוא הנשמה שבו. When we have to talk about the level of human being, the level of man, woman, the level of you and me. We don't have to check the level of the bank account. Have to check the size. Don't have to check anything. The eloquency. We have all the power. No, nothing. The only thing that have to be used to distinguish the elevation of someone is from the corner of the soul, the three level of the soul, nefesh, neshama. We are trapped because all the system is in an opposition. Today, your value is made from what is seen from outside, but to see someone from inside, this society where we are doesn't know how to do it. That's why you see people who can be a doula, someone can help a woman to give birth, will never earn the same amount of money compared to someone who is doing TikTok videos. And the one who is doing TikTok videos, dancing and jumping, will be promoted, will be shown, will be exposed, and will be considered like valuable. Why? Because they bring a lot of money. All of this showing to the perversity of the society where we are. Because the Ben Ish Chai said, look, there's no such definition. Even the way you rank people, don't accept to be ranked according to the level of your wealth. Don't accept to be ranked according to the level of your success, or I don't know what. The only thing that are allowed according to our Torah to be used in order to know the rank, the only thing is from the corner of the soul, nefesh neshama, that are inside of you. Velo mitzad guf levado. He said, don't do it. Don't try to rank anything from the physical aspect only. Don't do that. Why? Ki aguf kol min adam shavebo. He said, look, I'm not telling you to rank from the body because it's not meaningful. He said, no, what do you think? I'm not here to judge anything that Hashem has created. He said, because from the goof, from the body aspect, everybody is the same. You see how the sage are, they don't think like us. We were ready to jump to say, we don't rank from the body because the body is not meaningful. He said, no, it's meaningful. Yes, but how? To show to you that you are equal. And what's happened in the society where you are? It's opposite. From the color of your skin, from the size of your body, from the color of your ears, from the shape of this, from that, you will be judged. You will be categorized. You will be put in the middle or in the corner. While body should be the only element reminding us that we are Shavim. We are the same. 2 arms, 10 fingers, 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 head. This is the way to consider the body. Are you following? It's okay?
Yes,
Merci,
Rabbi.
Rabbi.
תודה. תודה רבה. And he said, ורק ההפרש הוא בנרן. The only difference that exists is in the soul. It's in the soul. ולזה אמר, אל תסתכל בקנקן, הוא הגוף. That's why he said, don't look at the container. Because this is the archetype of the body. שתאמר, כעם, ככהן, כאב, כאדוניו. He said, because you can fall in that trap. Which trap? This one written in Isaiah 24, verse 2. What does it say? Isaiah 24 verse 2. Laity and priest shall fare alike, slave and master, handmaid and mistress, buyer and seller, lender and borrower, creditor and debtor. That is the beginning. Hine Adonai, boke karet, ubolka ve'iva'a, pania ve'ifetze, yoshvea. Behold, God will strip the earth bare, and lay it flat, and twist its surface, and scatter its inhabitant. And lately the priest shall fare alike, slave and master, handmaid and mistress. Say, look, it's written. Shavim em, they are the same. Did you know about this verse of Yeshayahu?
כן, chief Rabbi Pinchas.
תודה רבה. תודה רבה, Chief Rabbi Elnatan Elchanan. The truth is, many people did not know about that. Many people even didn't thought that this type of verse can be in the Tanakh. Many people will think that, how can we say it? That the Geula Shelema is to keep the differences, is to keep the rank, is to make one leader, one slave, one servant, one mistress, one buyer, one seller. Many people think like that. One creditor, one debtor. But this is the problem. We don't understand that this is the archetype of body. But let me add something. You see, he's talking about the body. He's not talking about the skin. My question for you, is the skin, do we, is, if I say body, do you integrate skin in the word body? How do you categorize body? We want to try.
Shalom, Chief Rabbi.
Shalom, shalom.
It's it could be seen by some that the body is a vessel and the skin may be the covering. If we maybe even the label. If we think of a product like a jar containing something, we know that what is valuable, what is used, what we are looking for is what's in the container. And then we have the vessel, we have the container, and then we have the label that seems to tell us what is inside. But sometimes that can be tricky because sometimes the label doesn't always fully express what's inside. So I think of that in terms of, in regards to the way skin is viewed, the way people are judged by their skin color may not always match what the true essence inside is. So
Mhm.
that's just
תודה רבה. I will take 5 minutes before we switch. I'll take 5 minutes to explain to you from which corner we switch. So if you don't understand, please don't hesitate. It's very important to let me know that you are lost about that. So let's see something. Let's see one of the book of Arya Kadosh, Ruach HaKodesh, the gates of, say, Holy Spirit, even if it's not the best translation. In that book, at the beginning, Arya Kadosh will explain something about the skin. You see like this. You see my screen, okay?
Yes, Rabbi, we can see.
So we need to define skin because I'm telling you that the skin is not the body. Kamini Tadassa said the same thing. She was more constructive. I'm going straight. The skin is not considered like being a part of the body. Look. והנה, כמו שיש באדם נרן פנימי בתוכו. Like we know that a man possesses nefesh wa neshama, the inner inside of him. This is the same beginning that we have in the Ben Ish Chai. כן יש נחן מקיפים מבחוץ. We also know that the man possesses external soul outside. Are you following?
כן.
תודה. He said that you have to keep in mind, you have nefesh ruach neshama inside of what? The body. And you have also nefesh ruach neshama surrounding from outside. The limos start to be interesting, right? Look. וגם להם יש בחינת כ"ב אותיות מיוחדות. You say, look, I told you before that in the soul you have 22 letters. One day we're going to study that, especially for the one the program of the Rabbanut. We're going to study that. He said, I told you that the soul is actually 22 letters of the Torah. You have to know that the external dimension of the soul also possess letters. ולכן חלק מאלו השלושה הנזכחות לפעמים פוגעים זה בזה. That's why the three level on both sides, they have interactions and can damage one each other. And he said, ולפעמים, okay, ולפעמים אותיות אור המקיף, and sometimes the letter of the surrounding light equal external soul. Are you following? It's okay?
yes, Chief Rabbi.
Yes, Rabbi.
תודה. He says sometimes the surrounding light equal external soul גובר על אותיות אור הפנימיים. They become stronger than the letters of the inner soul. Look. וכל זה הוא כפי פעולת אדם. And this interaction depend on your behavior. What type of Ben Israel or Bat Israel you are. And look. ובזה יוכרו דברים הרבה. And say, based on that, you can know a lot about someone. You can know if he is if he is acting from the inner soul or if he is acting from the external soul. You can know if he is acting, if he is talking or thinking from the inner soul or from the external soul. And so, see like this. Veze sod, this is the secret. Sheaotiot niraot beor apanim. This is the secret how we know that letters can appear on the skin of the face. Not the skin of the face. On the skin of the forehead, which is on your face. In this chapter, Ayakadosh is explaining how to read the forehead of someone and to see letters appearing. And it says, when someone is a tzaddik, you can see letters, lighty letters on his forehead. Many people thought till now, even some of my rabbis that taught, they thought that it was the inner letters from your inner soul that were coming out on your foreskin, and I taught them that we call that Eloah. Do you remember, rabbis?
Yes, Chief Rabbi Pinchas, it's also mentioned, I think, in Share Girigulim. No, not Girigulim, Arikutim.
Yes. But the truth is, when you can read letters on the forehead of someone, it's because the inner letters interact with the external one who are standing where? On the external light, on the external soul. I go straight. What is the skin? It's your external soul. The body is surrounded by two souls, the inner one and external one. The cover, it's a skin. The cover, which is the skin, is the soul. Did you knew that?
Chief Rabbi, I did not hear that before.
Oh, no. I never heard that either.
I told you we're gonna make history today. And the Ben Ish Chai knew that. Told me to show to you. How do I know that he knew that? Very simple. You go in his book, the same book where we are, and see what he was saying in the introduction of Bereshit. Go here, Bereshit. You see here? He said, look. Only this is the beginning of his book. The first line. Here it's known. What Arakadosh said, Binyan levushim Adam Arishon, about the clothing of Adam Arishon. Kodem ached, before the scene. Ayehu put not or michashmal. He had a lighty or cloth from the chashmal. Let's say from electricity. Ukshechata, when he sins, if Sidotam, he lost them. And they were the Shanurin, okay, he lost all these things. And Ve'asalu, and Hashem made for him from the Klipot Nagar what we call Kutnot Or, a clothing of skin. And we all know that there's a secret between Or, Ve'or. And everybody know the wisdom of the Torah. There's no difference between the Aleph and the Ayin. It's skin, it's light, or they are all. And he will explain to you how do you pass from this to that, how to act. But he knows. He knows that the skin is the soul. That's why the Rabbanim, we're going to study that. That's why we say to people, don't tattoo your skin. But even some rabbis who teach that, they don't know the reason because they don't want to study Sod. I'm giving to you the reason. Once you know that the skin is your soul, do you expose your skin now? Think twice, right?
Correct.
Good. So let's go back to our topic. I did it that 5 minutes to explain to you how we're gonna switch. And look, and it said, at the end of the time, from the body aspect, meaning from the body aspect, remove the skin. Everybody is the same. You understand now? You may have told me, Rabbi Pinchas, no, we are not the same. Of course, we have 2 legs, we have 2 arms, we have 2 eyes, but my skin is like this, and his skin is like that. I will tell you, Rabbi, you are a tzaddik, you are right, you said right. But you are showing to me that you don't know your Torah. You didn't study enough. Why, Rabbi? Because the skin is a soul. It's the external soul. Your skin is not the part of the body. Your skin is not the body. So make the experience, Chas v'shalom. Remove the skin of all of us. Who gonna be what? You understand?
Yes, Rabbi. So the skin is just an outer cover. But the person within could be different, or rather, should be looking at the person within and outwardly look at their acts or look at who they are, their substance. But the skin doesn't determine who that person is. It's their essence that does. Am I following correctly?
You get 50% of the answer. We have just seen that the skin is actually the external dimension of the soul. So from the skin, I can know what's happened inside because the 2 lights are in interaction. You remember that, Rabbeinu? That when I read it?
Yes, Rabbi.
So what does it mean? When we talk about body, can, the vessel, the container, we are not including the skin inside. We are talking about rough flesh, raw flesh. At that level, we are all the same in the physicality. Once you know that, you start to process differently. You know that your flesh is surrounded by 2 spirituality. The inner is called your inner soul. We all have that consciousness because we see ourselves from inner aspect. But the external soul, it's your skin. So the skin is the soul. That's why my purpose is to show to you at that moment that the skin is not considered as the part of the body. Minimum, you can say, no, that's it. Maximum, you can say it's a cover. Okay, cover, accept, doesn't mean that it's the body. Yes, Rabbi Moshe.
So, if this is the case, what's the how does the melanin, the extension of melanin that we have, the connection of that with the soul? If the skin has more melanin, it's a darker skin, what will be the connection of that with the soul? If the skin is another
Slowly, slowly,
dimension,
Albedo. We are going. We are studying. You will have the answer. It's all the limud. It's all the limud. Don't worry.
I love you. Okay. Okay.
It's not the limud. Don't worry. Yes, Amalita Dasa.
I don't necessarily have a question, but while I'm hearing this, it just makes me think about the nature of the Europeans who, of course, would often, after lynching, our people and torturing and mutilating us, they would skin us. There are many accounts where they would cut the skin off, and many accounts where they would even wear our skin. So that's just one thing that I think of as macabre and gruesome as it is, that just came to mind as far as what they would have sought to achieve through that brutality.
Daraba, Ima Dasa. That attitude is really, we will see it. It's from the corner of complex. That people will succeed to turn it in a way like they are dominant against us, Chas v'shalom. No. Actually, this is the expression. When you are violent, when you cannot afford someone, and you can achieve such level of inhumanity, such level of violence, because you feel inferior. The one who hates is because you have the complexity of not possessing. That's why they're obsessed with us, with our lands. We're gonna see it now. Don't worry, the Torah will talk. But I just want to add something to what you've said. It's not from the from the corner of, we are superior, you are nothing. No, they know that something is missing. That's why the one who react like that, it's a complex. But we're gonna see, we're gonna build it. And he said, from the boy aspect, we are all the same. אלא במה שיש בו, שהם נרן שבתוכו. He said the difference can be only made from what is inside. But we just have to read in Shara Kodesh that the Naran is also outside. So when you say the inside here, don't forget that the Ben Ishai know the outside also is there. He's talking from the corner of this Pirkei Avot. That he knows your soul, it's here, and it's here. כי הנה, יש בקנקן חדש שלו של דורות האחרונים, האלה מלא ישן. It's a look. You will have containers, new containers of our generation, but they are full of old, let's say old wine. Talking about the level of the soul. That's why he is focusing on the inner aspect. But I introduced the external to let you know what's the difference between skin and body. And he said you have new bodies basically with old souls. Great one. That's the signification of kan chadash male yashan. New containers full of old wine. And Ben Israel said, what is the old wine? He said, this is the old soul from the last generations. Gdolim. And Baruch Hashem, we have a lot in the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, among the students, the rabbis, and so on. She'em midorot harishonim, they are from the first generation. She'ayu kemelachim, who were like angels. Kan chadash, male yashan. V'yesh yashan, רוצה לומר גוף, but you have old bodies של דורות הראשונים, שאפילו נערן קטנים שהם בערר דורות אחרונים, החלשים גם כן אין בו. And so you had old containers from the past. We even had new souls. So now let's see where we go. מיהו כתבו המפרשים ז"ל, כיוון דאין רוח הקודש לדעת מה המה הנערן שהיו בגופים הראשונים ומה המה שבגופים האחרונים איתנו. So what does it mean? Just before I start that topic, is there any question about what I've just introduced? I want to be sure that you get it well, because we will go higher now. Is there any question?
Rabbi, I think our brains are working overtime, so the questions will come. It's just at the mercy of our brains right now.
תודה רבה. בסדר, תודה רבה. So let's go back. Yes, עם ההדסה.
I'm thinking about the word is escaping me. The or is it the or machon? No, but I'm just thinking about the surrounding light.
אור מקיף.
Toda Rabah. Yes, so I'm thinking about that. Is there a relation between that and the skin as far as the light that is associated with this external soul that is surrounding the vessel?
רבנית עם ההדסה. This is exactly what we saw in Shara HaKodesh, in that very specific place. That's why I ask if you get it well, all of you. Look, I showed to you again. He said that the soul of a man is not only inside, it's also outside. And he said it in a very precise way. He said you have nefesh wa neshama inside, and you have nefesh wa neshama outside. Till there, it's okay?
Yes, Chief Rabbi.
So he said, because you have one inside, one outside, based on that, we can explain the spiritual phenomenon of seeing letters on the skin of someone. Why? Because your soul can be seen from outside here on that skin. Why? Because that skin is the surrounding light. Your soul is the inner light, they interact. That's why what is inside of you can be seen on your skin, meaning the inside of you equal your skin. But your skin is the external aspect of the same soul. You get it?
Yes, Chief Rabbi.
Yeah.
I was also trying to remember the relation. It was just coming back to my mind as you were speaking, and I was trying to find it. but remembering the concept of the me, the mem yud, and the association with the yud being surrounded by the mem sofit. And so
You said it. I think it's too advanced for this level of limud. But if you remember what we said once in one limud about the me, the point in the middle, and the mem sofit, we know that the mem sofit is the dmut. It's from Ima, right? You remember?
yes, Chief Rabbi.
It's the same. And the skin is built by the feminine dimension. That's why the sage will said that the more when start the skin to be processed in the pregnancy after 3 months. From 0 to 3 months, there's no skin. So the mom is the one who produces that external soul called skin. Wrongly, skin. But we get it by calling it in the Torah or, ein. Not to forget that it's or. It's lighty. It's light. You get it?
Yes,
Um,
Toda Chief Rabbi. Salika, that's why I kind of hesitated. I didn't know if I should bring that out now, but that's what I was making.
It's a Toda. You're right to bring it up, but the level here, it's a public. We keep it for us. We do not need to give all our treasures to people who just come to check what we are saying. But yes, this is that.
Rabino,
Oui.
this is the same ore which came from the Klipat Noga, right?
Yes.
Okay.
From the
Just to
good
make sure.
side, from the good side of Klipat Noga. Klipat Noga is divided in two. One side facing the impurity and the one side facing the goodness. So Hashem took from the goodness of the Klipat Noga.
Okay. Toda.
Because the Klipat Noga is like a skin for all the three Klipot, and also like a skin for all the four word of holiness.
The question, Rabbi.
Yes.
So the esoteric people, when I say esoteric, that includes all the New Age and hippies. Is this their perception now of the aura? Are they trying to interpret this phenomenon or this reality that this skin has a soul?
No, we make mistake. We think that the light is surrounding the skin. The mindset is like when they say, I have aura. They interpret like you have your body. They integrate skin at the level of the body, and they talk about light surrounding your body. No, it's a mistake. It's wrong. And by the way, all the New Age things is built by people who have the same complex that was described by Imam Hadassa before. So we can never tell you that the skin is the place of the external expression of your soul. If they say that, they will be trapped. They have to create something. Say, there's something surrounding you. It's blue. It's a purple. Okay, they say that and buy. We listen. But we have this text telling you that no, the skin. The skin is the external expression of the light the light of your soul.
Thank
So,
you, Rabbi.
Chief Rabbi,
Yeah.
I'm also, I think, getting to the point to truncate it a bit. We know that in hunter societies, indigenous cultures, like there's a science or a metaphysicality behind when you hunt the animal and you take the skin and you wear the skin. And it's like you're taking in the attributes and soul of that animal. So it seems that they know, although they've tried to fool us, they know about this soul. And when they would skin us, they would want to wear our skin to receive some aspect of that soul.
Thank you. You said everything. That's why the halacha will said, how men do they wear their tzitzit katan? Straight on the skin, or you have to put a t-shirt before? You know the answer. If your tzitzit katan is authentic wool straight on your skin. תודה. So it's okay, we get it? Skin equals soul. From here, שער הקודש. Here, הרי הקדוש. Say it. We okay?
Yes, Rabbi.
Yes, sir.
תודה. So see now. He said, מי כתבו המפרשים ז"ל מכיוון דאין רוח הקודש לאדם לדעת מהו מה שהיו בגופים הראשונים ומהו מה שבגופים האחרונים איתנו, צריכים אנחנו לכבד את הראשונים מסתמה, כי נאמר מאחר שהיו דורות הראשונים מסתמה זכו לנערן גדולים שאין נמצא איתנו אחד ממאה מערך המעלות ועוד מנאה שבוודאי יש להם יתרון עלינו מצד קדימת הזמן, כמו שכתב בגמרא סנהדרין רב השיעי, צמד פרקה, 3 מלכים אמר, למחר נפטר בחברים. פירוש, נדרוש פרק 3 מלכים היו תלמידי חכמים, כמותנו, ואין להם חלק לעולם הבא. עתה מנשה התחזה בחלמיה. אמר חברך וחברי דאבוך כריתלן. מאיכה בעת משרה המוציא עמך לה לא ידענה. עמך מה מאיכה דביעת למשרה המוציא לה גמרית וחברך כרית לן. אמר לי אגמרה לי ולמחר דרישנה משמך בפתקה. אמר לה מהכנה דקדים בישולאה וכולי. עד כאן. בפירוש הגאון מארי ז"ל ביד חלק ראשון דרוש י"א בחטא אדם הראשון. So I say like this. Let's explain all this. He said like this. He said, however, the commentators of blessed memory, they have written that since we don't have Ruach HaKodesh, we, our generation, you and me, let's be humble, we don't have the Ruach HaKodesh like David HaMelech. Since we do not have the Holy Spirit to know which souls, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, were in earlier bodies. What he's saying, it said, let's be honest, even if I can appreciate the behavior, the holiness of Chief Rabbi Elnatan Elchanan, of Rabbanit Adassa, of Rabbi Moshe, of Rabbi Hanan, of Chief Rabbi Shem, even if I can appreciate all these, Rabbanit Shalva, so if I don't quote your name, you are among all the names, I quote you. Rabbi Hillel, Rabbi Tadej, Rabbi Funeka, Rabbi Deushimidia, Chief Rabbi Kish, even Rabbi Chief Rabbi Zohar, Rabbi Magitoko, even if I cannot appreciate, even if I can appreciate, I don't know exactly which shul you are and from which period. If I want, it's demand a lot of work. I don't know exactly from where is the shul of Chief Rabbi Zohar, from which generation. The flood, the desert, Yosef, we don't know. So the Ben Ish Chai said, let's be honest, we don't know where in the earlier bodies and which are in the later bodies among us. We don't know which shuls were we in which bodies, even if you have old and ancient souls. It's based on that. We have to create a rule. What is that rule? we must honor the earlier generation by default. Meaning, because we don't know exactly who was what in earlier life when we are facing ancient soul, the sages will decide that let's give kavod, let's give honor to the ancient generation. The more ancient you are, the more respect you deserve. So he said, we must honor the earlier generation by default. What is that default? Because we don't know who is who really. For it can be said, since they were earlier generation, it is assumed that they merited greater souls, and that among us there is not even 1 in 100 who can compare to their stature. Furthermore, they certainly have an advantage over us due to their predecessor, to the period they live. They came before us. It was before, way before. The world was in another shape. The mindset of the civilization changed, and it seems to be clear to us that it was easier to keep your holiness and your purity living in the north Tzfat before 2,000 years than to live now. So he said, as it is written in the Talmud Sanhedrin, Rav Ashi completed the chapter. And he said like this, the chapter called Three Kings in Sanhedrin. Without us, I'm going to study it. He said to his student, tomorrow we will begin with our colleagues, meaning we will expound the chapter about the three kings who were Torah scholars like us, yet have no share in the world to come. See, we'll talk about them. So what's happened? The king Menashe came to him in dream that night. The king Menashe, the son of Chizkiyahu HaMelech, that he had in the 40 years he begged Hashem to add to him. He said, please, I don't want to die. Because Ezekiel was supposed to be the Mashiach. Made mistake. He said, no, why do you want to take my life? Give me more years. I want to live. Hashem had to him 14 years. In that 14 years, he will have Menashe. And Menashe will be the worst king according to the tradition. Tradition, Menashe said, is the worst king. He brought all the people to do Avodah Zarah, idolatry. The worst. So he said like this. And he said, in that night, the king Menashe come to him in the dream. To who? To Rav Ashi. He came to him. And he said, Shalom, Shalom, Rabbi Harry. And he said, you call us your colleague. So he's talking to Rav Ashi, the king Menashe. He said, you call us your colleague and the colleague of your father? From where? He said, look, okay, we are colleagues. We are the same. No problem. You put yourself at my level. I was the king of Israel. You are a teacher. You are a teacher now. Okay. You put yourself at my level. No problem. Look the question. He said, from where do you begin to break the bread? What a dream. You are dreaming and you receive that type of question. He said, you are talking like mocking us. Free kings, our colleagues who have no share in the world to come. Okay, no problem. Show to me that you are higher than me in wisdom, in knowledge. So Mr. Rav Ashi, sorry. So Mr. Rav Ashi, please tell me from where do you begin to break the bread? Rav Ashi replied, I don't know. I don't know. Menashe, King Menashe said, if you do not know from where to break the bread, and yet you call us your colleague, read this Sanhedrin is amazing. You call me your colleague. You don't know from where to break the bread, and you want to put yourself at my level, basically. Ravashi said, look how humble he was. Matthew. Ravashi said, please teach me. Teach me, and tomorrow I will teach it in your name in the chapter. The king Menashe said, from the place where it is the most baked. You take your bread, you put it in the oven, you think that it was like Torah deal with seriousness. Torah deal with chapter, with Shabbat, with tefillin, with waiting. But the bread in my oven is not Torah. Tradition is everywhere. The way your bread will be baked is telling a lot. The king Menashe said to him, look, Maseret Sanhedrin, Daf 102, Amud Bet. He said, everyone who has the knowledge of a king who deserve maybe to call himself my colleague have to know from where you break the bread. He said, from the part which is the most baked. Or if you want, from the part where the baking starts first. I will explain. And he said, this is from that place that we got. That the Ben Israel will had. He said, Adkan. This is the Sanhedrin. Let had. I will not explain yet. ופירש הגאון מערי ביד חלק ראשון דרוש י"א דבחטא דאדם הראשון נפלו כל הנשמות בסטרא חרא בארסו של נחש ובכל דור ודור נלקטים הנשמות מן הסטרא חרא ובאים לעולם הזה ולכן אמרו רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה אם ראשונים כמלכים וכולי, שיש להם יתרון ומעלה לדורות הראשונים על דורות האחרונים, מפני שכל נשמה שקדמה לצאת מן הקליפות זמן הרבה יותר מנשמות אחרת, יש להם יתרון ומעלה עליה, שלא בקעה בסטרא חרא דמסבה זמן אחור, כמו אחרת שאיחרה לצאת. והיינו דומה שוקעה הבוצע יום לשוקעה יומיים. והרי לא מנשה מעלת הראשונים ממה שקדמה נשמתם לצאת מן הקליפה. זמן רב קודם אחרונים. He said like this. He said, the Gaon Ma'ari in Yoredea, part 1, chapter 11, let's say. Chapter 1, part 11. He explained that in the sin of Adam Arishon, all souls fell into the Sitra Chara, the other side. Because of Adam Arishon, because he was the first man, all the souls were inside. After his sin, all the souls, they felt in the Sitra Chara, in the other side. Exactly what is that place called Sitra Chara? This is the poison of the serpent. And in every generation, souls are gathered from other side and come into this world. So it's a process of purification, rectification. Generation after generation, souls are taken from that poison of the Nachash and are brought in the Olam Hazeh, in this world. Therefore, listen well, our sages of blessed memory said, if the earlier one were like angel, what does it mean? Meaning, the earlier generation, they have an advantage and a superiority over the later generation. Why? Because every soul that left the klipot, the impurity, the sitracha, the other side, much earlier than other souls, has an advantage and superiority over it. For it did not remain in the impure side for as long as the other, which was delayed in living. They stood. We came late. We are the last generation. So meaning we spend, let's say, I was born in 82, 81, sorry, December 81. What does it mean? It means that I spend 5 millennium, 900 years, 80 900 years, 80 years, and 1 year in that shell of impurity. How can I be compared, let's say, to Cain, who went out one day, let's say, one day after the wedding of Adam and Chava? We cannot compare. They went out, they started their process of purification earlier than us. We stood long. We stood long. Very long. And this make us inferior compared to the previous generation. That's why we cannot, we, Chief Rabbinate of Africa, we cannot understand people coming before 300, 200 years and telling, our rabbi, our leaders is superior to Arakadosh, is superior to Rabbi Akiva, is superior to Moshe. Oh, leave it, please. Simple math, simple Torah. Why are you talking? Why are you comparing yourself with generation who spend less time in the Klippah than your masters that you are venerated? And he said, it is not the same for one who is immersed in the Klippah for 1 day and for one who is immersed for 2 days, for 1 year, for 100 years, for 1 century, for 300, for 1 millennium, for 2 million. It's not the same. This is what you have to accept. So what's happened with the story of the king Menashe? Ben Israel said, so the king Menashe showed to Rav Ashi the greatness of the earlier generation by the fact that their soul left Klippa much earlier than the later ones. He demonstrated this with the law of the bread, over which we recite the blessing. The place that was baked first is most honored from breaking, is more, honored for breaking, because there is a mixture of impurity in all things. I explain. It's like this. והרי לא זה העניין בפת דמבחין על אכה. דקדים בשולה. פירוש, מקום שהאש שולט בו יותר, שקדם להתבשל קודם. The real expression, for sure, when we translate, we say where the most baked. Yes, but in Hebrew, it says something a bit different. It said the place where the fire start to dominate first and longer if you want the most burned part of your bread. The most burned part of your bread. And if I ask, what's the color of the burned part of your bread?
Very, very dark brown.
תודה רבה. I go back a bit. הרי הקדוש said to us, שער הקודש, that the skin is the external level of the soul. Your soul that you generally know as your soul is only half reality of what is your soul. And that your skin is not part of the body. Your skin that we call or with ayin is here to remind you that it's or with aleph. And that your skin is your external soul. That your skin is the place of the expression of your eternal soul. And the skin is also the place of the expression of your inner soul by showing some letter on your forehead, for example. Knowing that, we see here that the dimension of high souls, very high level of souls, will be expressed by the burning aspect of the bread. Kal vachomer, if in the bread, the burning aspect, the place that the esh sholta, the place that the fire burned the most, the more, is the place to give more favor. Why? Because this is the place where the earlier souls are. This is the meaning of the word of the King Menashe. Alacha. Let me show to you. I'll take a few minutes because we are going down to the conclusion. I want to make it clear. Voilà. Let's see if we can find the text that one.
While you look for the document,
Yes.
Rabbi, can I ask two very silly questions that have nothing to do with the limud, but they actually do have something to do with it? In your house, does the Rebbetzin bake bread on a daily basis? That's question number one. Question number two, can you give us like an idea of what you eat per day and how many times you eat a day?
תודה רבה. It's connected to the limud. First of all, for the one who studies Shari Kedusha, you will see that the Hakadosh said that there's an expression that we call pat aboker, the morning bread. When do we eat the morning bread? Just after the prayer of Shacharit. You go back home, you do your Chok Israel, and after straight, you have to eat bread every morning. Why? Except the day where you know that you need to fast. But every morning you should eat your bread. It's a mitzvah, and you eat your bread depth in salt and with a small portion of water. According to the Mekubalim, in daily basis, you have to eat twice, in the morning and in the evening. Why? We get it from the laws of basar and khalav, milk and meat. We Mekubalim, we have been taught like this. Not only we don't eat dairy after meat, but also we don't eat meat after dairy. What does it mean? We don't wait like some Ashkenazi 3 hours. We don't wait like some Sfaradim 6 hours. The Mekubalim, they wait 12 from both sides. From meat to Khalav, to milk, 12 hours. And from milk to meat, 12 hours also. That brings you to be certain that what is meaningful is to eat twice a day, morning and evening. Did I answer to your question, Rabbi?
Absolutely, Rabbi. And I'm interested in your personal food choices. You mentioned in the last, I think it was the last limud, that a person cannot eat a meat product every day. So I'm very interested in your own personal dietary choices.
my 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 personal situation is based on my personal tikkun. I'll give an example because it's forbidden to talk about yourself. But for example, Rabbi Chaim Vital, he's the one who wrote everything we study about even about the 12 hours. But in Sha'ar Gilgulim, it's like this. The roots of his soul being from Cain, he was used to eat meat every day. It was his way to eat meat every day. That's why, because he knew that it was the identity of his soul, that's why when it was the time of the um, uh, the Yemei Avilut, meaning from 17th of Tammuz till Tisha B'Av. All these weeks, he was avoiding to eat meat. So people misunderstand. They took his writing and they say, no, it's forbidden to eat meat. But people who have some instinct, we say, we have problem. First of all, we have Shabbat among that 3 weeks. So if we have Shabbat, on next Shabbat, it's meat and wine. How do you do during the 3 weeks? We cannot forbid people to eat meat and other things. During that 3 weeks, we have Rosh Chodesh, Av, Shabbat. It's like Shabbat. It's Shabbat for us, but for the other, it's like Shabbat. What does it mean? You forbid people to eat meat. And we have another problem. On the 5th of Av, we have the Ilula Kadosh. And we know the way to celebrate Ilula, it's wine and meat. So, the 3 weeks, I learned from my master, we eat our meat during Shabbat, we eat our meat on Rosh Chodesh, and we eat our meat on the Ilula Kadosh, saying, the one who brought that minag not to eat meat at all during the 3 weeks between 17th of Tammuz and the Tisha B'Av was Rabbi Chaim Vital because he was eating meat every day. So
I see.
this is the type of situation that we can say. But we'll talk in private with Hashem.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Rabbi Nadej. Yes.
Yes. So, Rabbi, thank you so much. Good afternoon. Shalom.
So I don't
My first question is, can you eat chapati instead of the bread if you make chapati? And my second question is, what if you like pescatarian? You eat fish, can you replace like a kosher fish instead of the meat? Like if you're pescatarian.
sometimes there's some words that maybe the microphone is not good. Just repeat me the first question. If we
So
substitute, yeah,
can you, on the first, my first question, if you, like you say, we can eat bread every day.
we
So
have
can
to.
you, yeah, what if you replace it with chapati? Chapati, chapati, like it's flat, but
Mhm.
it's still made with flour. If
So
you want,
wheat flour.
yes, wheat.
So my question is, do you say hamoti on it?
Yeah, because it's flour. Yes.
No, it depends. Being flour, it's not sure that you have to say hamoti. You can maybe say mezonot. When you make your dough, what do you put inside? You only put waters or do you add something
Water.
else?
Yeah, water. And
Do
I
you
put
add
water
the
and salt and then some Haitian spice.
do you add sugar?
No, just water and salt, a little bit of salt, and
You
then
put
butter a little bit.
okay. So it's hamoti. You put a lot of salt.
No, just a little bit.
I have to check because if it's salt, maybe it's mezonot, not hamoti. So we have to check. It
Okay.
can be like this. If you eat a certain quantity, you can be allowed to say Birkat Amazon, so it can stand with the eating it instead of the bread.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say yes. I will say yes in condition that you eat more than 300 grams.
Okay. Thank you. And so what about if you don't eat meat and you just want to replace the fish instead of the meat? Like due to dieting issue, you don't want to eat a lot of meat. Can you eat fish instead? Can you replace?
You can replace meat by everything you want. That is healthy for you. The only problem we have is on festival and Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh. Because at that moment, we are not master of what we have to eat. We receive laws telling us on Shabbat, you need meat and wine. On Rosh Chodesh, you need meat and wine.
You can't be a vegetarian. Like you can't be a vegetarian. You have to eat meat.
I will say if you want to be vegetarian, you have I will not say that I'm the I know everything, but you have to bring to me words of sages proving that Oneg Shabbat can be made without meat and wine. If you find it, I've no doubt that Chidushim can be found. Because I know people can tell you, yes, my Shabbat, into my Shabbat, I fast. I know people who does that. But they have the verse to say, and they know that if you fast on Shabbat, you have to fast the next day to say, sorry, that I fast the day I was supposed to be enjoying. But people have to bring to us the Torah Sheb'al or the Torah Shebirtav telling that Shabbat can be celebrated without wine and meat. And if they want to associate it to fasting, maybe why not? But we have to study.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Very knowledgeable.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So see, this is the bread. It was in the oven. So if you have this bread on your table, from where do you start to break the bread? From here. I don't know if you see. Which color is it?
Well, this one's black.
Is the color of the melanin?
תודה רבה. The color of the melanin. Meaning, the king Menashe said, you see that place, very burned? This is where the ancient soul are. Why? Because it is only from the place where the ancient soul are that the fire starts to bake the dough. Your melanin is the expression of your external soul. I repeat, your melanin is the expression, the only expression of your external soul. That's why I said don't bring it to racial thing. It's spiritual. The
Rabbi,
fact of the yes,
does that mean, I'm sorry, this is the way I can understand. That means it's more prone to spirituality, the darker the color?
yes. The King Menashe said, the darker is your bread, part of your bread is the place to start to break it. You remember that, right?
Yes.
The question is why? He
Yeah.
said, because the higher soul, the ancestors, the higher one, they are here. This is the place where the fire starts to bake the dough. And we
Does
saw,
that mean does that
yeah,
mean that Adam Arishon was black too?
it's mean that his external soul can only be black, not based on racial thing,
Yeah, yeah.
based on the fact is the ancient of whole. That's why we call Adam Arishon Atika Kadisha. Is the ancient. You see how you can explain the blackness without falling in racial thing?
Mm-hmm.
Robert,
Just
Reverend, do you say external or eternal? So which one, please?
external soul. This is what we
Okay.
said in the.
Bravo.
This is what we said in the Jawah HaKodesh. He said the soul possesses two levels, the inner and the external. It's like or pnimia or makif,
Mm-hmm.
inner light and external light. He said both of them work together, and sometimes they are in conflict. That's why sometimes you have people with melanin, maybe me, because we talk about tradition and Torah. It means that the two souls are in competition, fighting. They are not in harmony. We will see the text again. So it's telling you, from the laws of the bread, you understand what does it mean to be burned by the sun. Look what he said. What he said. Look what he said. You see my screen?
Again, Rabbi.
Yes.
שיר השירים אשר לשלמה ישכנים לכל פיור כי טובים דודי המיין לראייה שמך טובים שמנה. רק שמן הלכן על אמות האבוך. מסכיני אחריך נרותי הביאני המלך חדרה ונגילה ונשמחה בעלה זכיר את דודיך מיין משעי האבוך. slowly. שחורה אני ונאווה בנות ירושלים כעולה כדר כרעות שלמה. אל תראוני ששחרת ששזפני השמש בנעימי. ניחרו בי שמוני נוטה את כרמי מקרמי שלי לא נטרתי. You know this right? You know this verse, right, Rabbi Shalva?
I'm sorry, Chief Rabbi, I don't understand your question.
One more time.
I don't understand your question.
Do you know this verse?
From Shir HaShirim?
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you know them? What I've just read?
let me see.
I don't hear you well. Do you know this verse or not?
Don't stay. Yes.
Yes, Rabbeinu. I know the verse. We know the verse.
Yes. You want to translate? Shchochani, not shchocha dark. I'm black. I'm black becomely. All those of Jerusalem, like the tent of Kedar, like the pavilion of Shlomo. Don't stare at me because I am shchoret, because I'm black. Why? Because the sun has gazed upon me. The sun tanned me. It's not the sun from the level of external sun make me tan. No, it's from inside. So when we talk about the color, we have to talk about the ancient you are, the darker you are. Why? Because this is the place where things start to be burned. And all the people who are very racist, what do they say? What do they teach to a kid? At that time, even Chazvi Shalom among black people, don't stand at the sun. You are enough dark. Let's be real. Who had never heard that? Right?
Yes, Rabbi. Even in our own ethnic context, people with dark skin are looked down upon. In my language specifically, they're very, sorry, there's a long list of derogatory terms that are given to people of a darker complexion. Now, this is, yeah.
This is the proof that the one who were complexed about your external soul, they succeed to change your mind. Congolese people, they are known to make their skin lighter. They bought things you cannot imagine. Chemical things putting on the skin to have a lighter skin. Bought specific soap and let me show to you. This is the best friend of Congolese.
No one beat the Jamaicans on this one.
Shalom. I think Chief Rabbi Zohar was just speaking, but the microphone was really low.
Yeah. Rabbi Zohar, please, could you repeat?
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No, say, when it comes to bleaching, I don't think no one beats the Jamaican and the Nigerian in this one.
What is
Jamaican in the
what is bleaching? It's to make your skin lighter,
ouais,
right? Ah,
ouais,
forget.
en
Congolese,
créole on dit on
Congolese
appelle
on the
ça
top. Congolese on the top. As to
They're small players, man. Trust me,
I have been
Congolese.
there.
Fabrication confirm. Even the Nigerians say Congolese were crazy. Am I wrong about
Oh,
Say again, Rabin, please.
who are the one known in Africa to make their skin lighter by using chemical things? Nigerian and Congolese.
I think it should be some tribe in Nigeria, not Congo.
Yes, but as to the people, Congolese is a business. You have it in TV. These things called Carolite. See this? They said Carolite cream is a formula rich in B-carotene and vitamin A and E, in order to make your skin light. And look, Congolese. You know how many cancer people received? If you have time, just type this.
Okay, Rabin, this one is saying is different from the one they do in Nigeria. Nigeria one is not like this one you do. This is different.
Yes. Here, Congolese. They are. You cannot compare. I'm telling you. After you see, let me say, how can you say? Carolite consequences. Sorry, I will check before that there's no images inappropriate. Okay. Okay. See, look the consequences. I I know people like this. I have aunties like this. I have uncle like this. Telling you. Look, all this, all this. What the logicality? What the purpose of life? Because of skin complexion created by the one who are frustrated, to not have what you have, and to bring you to forget about the spirituality of the melanin and to think that it's all about race. Not bringing you to study your Torah, and you think that to be dark is a curse. Me, since I don't care, even I want to be darker, I don't care.
I was like that, Chief Rabbi. I always wanted to be darker all my life. It was so sad because so many people are so beautiful. It's like you don't see that you look more beautiful with the darker skin. Like those pictures you just showed,
Mm.
that they can't look in the mirror and think that that's beautiful. But I don't know. It disturbs me, but I always wanted to be darker. So I don't understand the complex. I do understand it sociologically, but
Mm.
it wasn't something that was not my mentality.
תודה רבה to, for your words, because we, from Africa, we always have people seeing American like, ah, this is beautiful to be like American, that skin. They don't know that in America, it's because of the consequences of mix. People are mixed. And some people, they have Indian blood, they have Jamaican blood, they have Barbados blood, Puerto Rico. Sometimes the skin is not about you working to get that skin. The skin is the expression of is the external expression of your soul. meaning your skin is like you, is how you are inside. So for sure, in that case, darkness, be darker, is saying a lot about the level of ancient soul you possess. Meaning you start to be burned by the Shemesh before everybody. You get the connection, Ramay Shalva? Bread and skin? The sun burn your face like the fire of the oven burned the dough. And we have many examples telling that the body of the man was like a dough that Hashem used. And Adam was chalato shel haolam. Adam was the chala you remove from the dough. Have you ever heard about that? Ah, she went to my shalva? Ah, maybe she's not there. Here's the thing. Let's go back and finish. So your melanin is connected to your soul. And we'll finish that with the Hakadosh. You will see how we manage everything. So he said, שהאש שולט בו יותר שקדם להתבשל קודם. לכן יכובד זה המקום יותר לפצוע ממנו, מפני שיש תערובת זוהמה בדומם צומח חי מדבר, וכל דגן ופרי ומאכל אשר יתבשל באש תתגרש ממנו חלת זוהמת. הנחש, הדקה, בו ביותה זרוע באדם, ולכן המקום שיש בכיכר זה, שקדם להתבשל נמצא, נתגרשה ממנה זוהמה. ב' וג' רגעים קודם שער הכיכר, לכן נבחר יותר לבצע המוציא. ואם כן, כל שכן וכל שכן נשמות הראשונים, שקדמו לצאת מטומאת הסדרה אחרה, זמן הרבה קודם נשמת האחרונים, סיעות להם המעלה והכבוד. וכיוון שהם גדולים במעלה זו, לכר יצרם גם כן גדול. ועל כן אל תתפלא, אם חטאו כל כך עד כאן תוכן דבריו יען שם. It's like this. I go back. He said, I go a bit back. Said the king Menashe showed to Rav Ashi the greatness of earlier generations by the fact that their soul left the Klippa much earlier than the later ones. He demonstrates with this the law of bread order, which we recite. He demonstrated this with the law of bread over which we recite the blessings. So by understanding the lacha about bread, you understand a reality about ancient souls. By understanding the reality about ancient souls, you understand the dimension of baking. Look what he said. He said, the place that was baked first is more honored for breaking, because there is a mixture of impurity in all things, mineral, vegetal, animal, and human. Every grain, fruit, and food that is cooked in fire, the impurity of the serpent that is a stick to it will be removed from it thanks to the fire. So I explain. He said basically the rectification, the removal of the impurity inside of the dough will be done thanks to the fire of the oven. So that fire goes first in the place where basically, let's say, the ancient schools are. And he had something now. He said, everywhere where you will see things being baked, you know that the poison of the serpent have been removed. The more things will be baked, the higher will be the quality of that removal of the poison of the serpent. See what he's saying? Meaning that external soul called skin tell you something. The darker it is, the the more the more you have the guarantee that the impurity of the nachash is removed. The less darker it is, the more information you have about the presence of the poison of the nachash. And this make echo to what Rabbi Nechunya in one of his books, Sefer Abayir, about the kids, the Nachash and Chava. I will not say more. Yes, Rabbi Tadassa.
As you're saying this, Chief Rabbi, I'm remembering years and years ago, I was reading uh, Elijah Muhammad had a book called How to Eat to Live. And he speaks about how the white bread, the white sugar, the white flour, the white bread, the white sugar, and the white potato is poison to us as a people. And I distinctly remember he was writing, if you must eat the bread, it is best to eat it very burnt, like very toasted, very black. And, so it's just now, and this was years ago, and of course he wrote this years before I was even born. And now, more recently, science is now telling this, even the Europeans amongst themselves, saying about the dangers of the white sugar, the dangers of the white potato and the white bread and the gluten and all that. But that always stood out to me since I was a little girl about that burning the bread. He said, if you can toast it, he even wrote it in the book, like if you toast it extra, extra black, that's the only way you should eat it. So that's what that reminds me of.
תודה רבה for sharing the example. There is something healthy naturally when things are darker. But the society helped you to think that the darker it is, the most cursed it is. Till we will be enslaved, colonized. And, you know all the list. This is historical. You have to spiritualize the topic of melanin. But never forget what Sergei Kadosh, he said, we'll conclude with that in a few seconds. I keep out the conclusion. So see, Rabbi Shai said, he said like this, he said, everything possesses a level of impurity from the serpent. The more it is, the surer you are, you have more guarantee about the removal of that poison. And he said, therefore, the part of the loaf that was baked first has had its impurity expelled a few moments before the rest of the loaf, even if it's a question of few moments. of second, it's enough. Few moments before the rest of the loaf. And thus it is preferable for the blessing from Moti. So he's asking to you. He's telling you, how do you rank the level within the bread? Ranking, right? How do you rank? He said goes where it's darker because the process of purification starts earlier for them. Ben Israël. He said, how do you show that appreciation? This is on that portion of bread that you will break when you say, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And how the more so the soul of the earlier generation, which left the impurity on the other side, much earlier than the souls of the later generations, deserve greater honor and distinction. How do I distinguish them? Distinguish them? The intensity of the fire, the level of the burnt. Mida keneged mida. What is mida keneged mida? Very simple. If you know that everything has a correspondence, the 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 bread we saw together possess also a skin, right? You have the inner of the bread, which is how do you say it in English? La mie, which is the comment on dit la mie de pain, Rabbi Yochanan?
L'ami. Not the crust, but the other side. Oh,
The crumbs, yes, crumbs.
crumbs. Oh,
Yeah. The
crumbs,
crumbs,
c'est un peu comme des poussières, mais bon.
the meat pain. One second. How do you call this? Sorry. How do you call this in English? That what?
Is the white bread. White bread.
White bread? Wow. You don't have a name for that?
Not really.
You can say
That
it's a slice of bread.
No, not
Yeah,
that.
he's talking about
No,
the
I'm
middle
talking
part.
about
No, we don't.
the middle
We
part.
don't have a name. We don't have a name for that. We just have the crust.
Ah,
The crust
okay.
is
Yeah,
named,
we just have the
not the
crust.
inside.
That's it.
It's white
Ah,
bread.
because in French we have a name for that. We call it the mie here, the mie de pain. And here, the external part, we call it le crouton, the crust, the crust. Comment tu dis le crouton, Yohanan?
Yeah, the crust.
The crust. We have two names to say that there are two parts in the bread, the inner and the external. So now you understand that inner soul and external soul. And one day, one man comes say he's the Mashiach, say eat the bread. This is my body. Remember this man? No chidush. We knew.
Is a fake, is a prank, and it was not real.
No chidush. We knew all that before. No chidush. Nothing new. We had the knowledge before. So based on the fact that we see what the Ben Ishai is saying here, Very simple. Very, very simple. The souls of the earlier generation, which left the impurity of the other side much earlier than the soul of the later generation, deserve honor, greater honor and distinction. And since they are greater in this way, their evil inclination is also greater. You get it? He said, this Torah is amazing. People will say, look how they are cursed with black people because they always have problems with money, with women, with alcohol, with violence. Right?
Okay.
So look what he said. He said, וכיוון שהם גדולים במעלה זו, לכר יצרם גם כן גדול. He said, because since they are greater in this way, their evil inclination is also greater. So they turn the situation against us while it was the proof that we are greater in that level. Because we have two aspects of souls. There's also the inner. It's the opposite. He said, look, therefore do not be surprised if they sin so greatly. Very shy. ועל כן, אל תתפלא אם חטאו כל כך. Don't be surprised if they sin so much. If it was me, you say, he's a Russian, he's Shalom. Look, it's written in Torah. So therefore, do not be surprised if they sin so greatly. This is the gist of its words. People were using that reality to, Chaz Shalom, call us animals. They only think about praying every day, women's every day, sexuality every day. It's normal. The greater you are, the harder you fall. Look, King Menashe. And the darker you are, we only talk from the external side. So now imagine if you start to give to your inner side Torah, Tikkunim, it's finished. And he said, those from the advantage of the earlier souls over the later ones, we understand the reason why one should break the bread for Amoti from the place that is the best baked or the burned place, because the fire has affected it more than the rest of the loaf. And see my conclusion. Very simple. Very simple. Said, I cannot say it to you. Is הנה, שיש באדם נהן פנימי בתוכו, inside of you. You have a inner soul. Inside of you, you have a inner soul. כן, and also, יש בנחן מקיפים מבחוץ. You have also an external soul. You have nefesh, ruach, neshama inside of you. And you have nefesh, ruach, neshama outside of you. It's not the aura, it's on your skin. Like it said here. וזה נראות באור הפנימי של מצרים, באור, on the skin. The skin, your skin is the external soul. And in that skin, you have also nefesh, ruach, neshama. Look what he said. Now look the key point. He said, וגם להם, and also for them, יש בחינת קו בית אותיות מיוחדות. He said, look, don't think that there is a distinction about the inner soul and the external soul, and you will be starting maybe to make a rank. He said, no, inner soul is higher, external soul is lower. So the skin aspect is just a physical thing. No, it's not physical, it's meaning something. That's why all the people who understand about spirituality, they cannot. They need melanin. I will not go, I don't want to be struck by YouTube. They need. Why? Get it? He said, look, וגם להם יש בחינת כבד אותיות. You have also letters, proper letters, connected to your skin. וכל חלק מאלה שלושה הנזכרים. So you have also 22 letters for nefesh, 22 letters for ruah, 22 letters for neshama, for the free level of your skin. And look the key word. ולפעמים פוגעים זה בזה. And it says, sometimes there's a fight between the inner soul and the external soul, which is the skin. And they damage one each other. This is when someone don't consider a skin like he considers his inner soul, or the opposite. It's when someone wants absolutely not to be characterized by that skin color, while it's also a sign of a specific work made from the inner soul. That's why I say to people, leave it. Let us lead Torah in Africa. Don't come with your Ashkenazi recipe or Sfaradi recipe, because you cannot handle the fire inside of black people, the Bantu Israelites. We know the reality. When we talk about fire, you see what said by the Ishrai. The level of sinning is not the same. So don't come with your pshat. It doesn't need. I don't need it. Come with real stuff. Because there, the temptation is huge. Don't come with that. It's okay. It's not okay. We know how to manage, because we are from that extraction in the level of intensity of purification. We know what type of situation we have to face. That's why some people who sometimes they want to escape from that connection. They want to be the only black of, let's say, the Ashkenazi synagogue. But the truth is, we don't say everything what's happening in their life. They play like poker face. I know. Why? Because with me, they feel free. They know, he will understand. And to me, they give all the story. I say, wow. Black story, you know the black story. Always stories, stories. Wow, 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 wow. And sometimes when I just sometimes explain a bit to some rabbis about what we deal with every single day, they say, what? Yeah, I'm telling you, leave it. You don't know how to manage with people. It's another intensity of spirituality. It's we did the yeshiva in Jerusalem, black people staying together every single day. Ask to Chief Rabbi Zohar, Chief Rabbi El Natan Hanan, Chief Rabbi Shai, the intensity. Am I lying?
No comments.
Intensity, intense. People were passing in front of the Bet Midrash. They even were afraid to enter. Intensity. It's not because we are. That color means a lot. And to prove that it's nothing connected to Russianism, Chazé Shalom, it's here written. The skin is not the part of the body. It colors the body. So what is it? They say from or to or. It's nefesh roah neshama from the external aspect. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen. Is there?
Amen.
תודה רבה.
Amen ואמן.
Amen. Amen.
תודה רבה.
Amen.
תודה רבה.
Amen.
Is there?
Amen.
תודה רבה, הבנים. Is there any question?
Yes, yes. If you can, I know you're tired or everybody's tired, but during the count of the Omer, when we do the bracha, there is a connection of the surrounding light and the inner light. Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
And all the work that we do with the counting every day, but I don't understand the concept. I know it's there, but I don't get it.
Which concept? Explain to me. What is your
When
question?
we do the counting of the Omer, we're working something with the inner light and the outer light of our souls. Am I right? I just don't know how to formulate the question. I just
Take your ask to me what you want to do because the purpose is to help you to do properly. So take your time.
okay.
Explain to me.
I just read a material that says that during the bracha for the Sefirat HaOmer, it's like you're working your inner vessel and your outer vessel too. Are you doing what does the Omer count does when we do it every day?
The truth is, you're asking from a corner of a material which is not ours.
Okay.
I cannot speak for the one who wrote that materials. The question you're asking is it's years of teachings.
Okay.
But the fact just of understanding that the 7 weeks between Pesach and Shavuot, they are connected to the 7 kings. And each one of them come with specific rectification. Some weeks we fix the anger, the greediness, all these things. Some years we think the type of sin we did with wrong behaviors in terms of intimacy, the wrong behavior on the table. Sometimes we fix the fact that we didn't study Torah properly. So every single week come with inner work. And that inner work is made from the corner of you counting. So there are a lot of kavanot. So yes, for sure you work your inner aspect, but what is your question? Because you seems to say something, you sense something. Maybe give a testimony that will help me to understand more.
No, I can't. I just can't think more. I can't. Okay, I'll try to see how I ask later.
Bezrat Hashem. And just to conclude, to let you know that this limud gave keys. That's our reality. Reality. Yes, Rabbi Travail, yeah.
Shana Rabbi Baruch Hashem, another beautiful limud, of course. I'm thinking about the burning the bread as this code for the blackening of the skin and the purity to remove the poison of Nakash, as you said. And as always, it reminds me of the idea of we know that this burning out of the poison is like the dross that is burned from the gold, and gold being purified by fire. And another alchemical process is the process of nigredo, which is literally the blackening. And in alchemy, we know that a substance that is burned until blackening extracts the purest essence. So that again confirms the purest essence of a thing is the blackness of it. And in many spiritualities, when we speak of medicines, particularly plant medicine, herbal medicine, particularly in Ifa, they have this system of the Akoshe, the Ogun medicines, and they most often involve burning the herbs and the plants and sometimes other things, burning it till it's black. And so that affirms that blackness is medicinal, blackness is healing, blackness is purity. And another point that I thought of, just maybe in a humorous way, uh, I think there's a common saying or a joke, I think, that Black people invented barbecue. And so even when it comes down to the meat, just like Elijah Muhammad was saying, when you toast the bread very black, it removes the poisons of the refined sugar and the processes of the sugar dealing with the gluten and all these things. But even with the meat, we know that the Europeans often want to make us think that it is elitism, it is a royalty, it is aristocracy that to eat meat that is not cooked, that is medium rare. But we know that the stereotype, of course, is Black people. We eat our meat very well done, very black, and so, but that also signifies again this purification because the more cooked or even burnt that even the meat is, you ensure that the poison and the parasites are purified out. And we know that it even says that bread is your meat. So there's this relation between bread and meat and the purification of a substance. And finally, we've talked about this before, but just for the people who are listening, maybe even on YouTube, there's a book that I read many years ago. It's called The Ankh, The African Origin of Electromagnetism. And it speaks about the science of the melanin in our skin produces what they call black body radiation. And it is 300 degrees Kelvin. It's a completely different, it's not even Fahrenheit or Celsius, but we produce this radiation that is this secret of electromagnetism. And even in concepts now, we speak of Afrofuturism, that we always had these advanced technologies and the ability to conduct the energy came from our melanin. So again, a very powerful limud and many confirmations of these things that we always knew about ourselves. So, Baruch Hashem.
תודה רבה, תודה רבה, תודה רבה for all this summary that says a lot and help us to summarize and to go deeper. And it helped me to conclude in a very meaningful way to let you know that the way we went through the topic was full of holiness. And it's like this. When you talk about a tzaddik who wants to fix himself and will enter in a high level of intensity of fasting. It's fasting. It said like this that it will become black. Said it will become black. Have you ever heard about that?
No, Chief, I've not heard that.
Is there anyone who have heard about that?
When you say black, I think in our fickle minds, we're going to think about color. But I've seen it in my own country, in South Africa. South Africa is the second most racist country in the world. And I've grown up in post-apartheid South Africa. I've made a lot of friends with people from all over the world who lived in South Africa. And I found that with with South Africans, there are those who espouse the old colonial mindset, and there are those who see that the world wasn't really given to them. It's a privilege for them to live in South Africa. And the ones who had a colonial mindset would always say, especially at school, they'd always say to the other ones, you don't have to think like this. Don't accept this kind of thinking or culture because it will make you black. It will make you one of them. So they were thinking about it on a racial surface. But I think your question has got nothing to do with skin color, but the person's essence. But I've seen it when people espouse a mindset that if you do as they do, you're going to become like them. That's how I've seen it.
That for the explanation. But I was talking seriously. It said like this about Kalev. Do you know Kalev Ben Yefune?
Yes.
It said like this. Kalev Ben Yefune, it's written in Likutei Torah. I will not open now because we will finish in 1 hour. Kalev Ben Yefune fasted so hard that he turned black. He turned black, and from where do we know that? I will just show to you here. So this to say that there's a process that can be achieved if you fix yourself. But from the external level of your soul, called the skin. Caleb was one of the people who turned like this. The rabbis, you remember what we wrote once about this in Likutei Torah?
Yes, Chief Rabbi Pinchas.
And it's Rashi that allude that here. When it say Hur here. ועל זקנים אמר שובו לנו וזה עד אשר נשוב עליכם והנה אהרון וחור עמכם. מבעל דברים ייגש עליהם. So what is Hur? He was the son of Miriam, and his father was Caleb, the son of Yefune. As it said, Caleb took unto him Ephrat is Miriam, who bare him Hur. And Ephrat is identical with Miriam, as it's stated in Sota. 1 second. One second here. What is he saying? Give me the wrong. Rabbi Moshe Lichtenstein. Telling you things here. I will not go. Maybe next week. Here, it's talking about Caleb and Yoshua. And Akadosh is bring that topic. He said, go 1. Velo bekedai omrim chazal. The sages are said, Shachor, black, Aya beno shel Caleb. They were the son of Caleb. I will explain to you one day. Without a shame. If I go there, it will be too much. But know that someone who fasts a lot and fix himself, there's a code that the sage said that is carried turn black. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'amen. And now you know why. Toda rabba to all of you, Bezrat Hashem. And if you need me to teach on this part, maybe I will start this from this next week. But I think tomorrow with the French people, we're gonna go on that topic. Toda rabba, Laila Tov. Mama Papa Kitoko, Rabbi Moshe. I think I answered to your question, Rabbi Moshe. תודה רבה, רבי נדש, רבי נטליה,
Yes, indeed.
Moshe, Rabbi Chalva, Rabbi Yochanan, and Ima Adasa. תודה רבה. Rabbi Ari, תודה רבה, Chief Rabbi Nathan Hanan, תודה רבה. מתפונקה, תודה רבה. רבי הלל, תודה רבה, רבי שמעון, תודה רבה, Chief Rabbi Kish, and תודה רבה, Rabbi Deo Shimija, if he's there, תודה רבה to everybody who was on YouTube. chief רבי מרדכי, תודה רבה.
תודה רבה, רבינו.
שבע שלוש, תודה רבה. רבי יוחנן, תודה רבה. תודה רבה. Yes, רבנית נדש.
Thank you, Shalom, Uncle, Rabbi. I wanted to find out if it's possible. I don't know if it's personal, but I want to, because you are the one teaching me Torah now. I want to know, do you have a website? Because I want to turn in my 10% of my salary to you instead of. Do you have a website to your organization instead? Because
בעזרת
you
השם,
the one
I'll
teaching
talk to
me.
you in private, בעזרת השם, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
תודה רבה to you, תודה רבה, ממש.
Yes,
תודה
thank
רבה. תודה.
Chief
תודה רבה.
Rabbi,
Yes, רבי משה.
I did not get the email from the university, and I don't know if you got my home address for the Sidur.
Yeah,
Okay.
two things. The email you give to me, is it Gmail?
Gmail, yes.
So, one thing, have you checked your Google Chat?
Google Chat. Let's
Do you
go.
Do you have that app?
Okay. The last one that I gave it to you, right? The last email?
No, I'm just asking to you in your phone. Do you have the app Google Chat?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In that app, do you see rabbinical program inside?
Okay. So okay. I'll take care of business. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Once you go
Thank you.
there, everything is inside. Every single day, I send the video link. We send the hours of limud starting the next day. So everything is written there. And in few minutes, I will send the videos of today. We
Okay.
study
תודה רבה.
Avodah Zarah and Tikkun Zohar. So you will have it. So if you don't receive, let me know. But I think you will receive.
Okay. תודה
And
רבה,
the
Chief Rabbi.
more
Appreciate
limud
it.
will be announced inside. The link will be inside everything.
Okay. תודה רבה.
תודה רבה לך. And about the address, it will be sent Bezrat Hashem in the end of the week. Don't worry.
Looking forward. תודה רבה.
תודה רבה לכם. ביי
And
ביי.
I'm gonna buy the Mishnah too soon.
בעזרת השם, בעזרת השם.
תודה רבה.
תודה רבה, ביי ביי רבנים ורבניות, ביי. תודה רבה, ביי ביי.